Is your debt causing you sleepless nights? Knock your debt out with Debt KO. And your debt won't be the only thing keeping you up at night. Debt KO. Free, impartial advice on all your debt.
Andrew McCART, IFL TV, in association with MTK Global. I've got to say I'm delighted to be joined by Brian Ceballo. I hope I've said that right. Ceballo. My apologies. All the way from America. It's the first time I've spoke to you, and it's a pleasure. I've spoke to you off camera a little bit, and it's a pleasure to finally meet you. I've looked at some of your YouTube fights. You're quite an exciting young fighter, but for the UK fans, for the UK people and fight fans, break down your sort of style of fighting, if you will.
I don't think I have like a particular style per se. A lot of people that say that I'm a boxer, puncher kind of guy. I just say that I adapt to each individual, you know?
We're talking about an individual. You've come off your biggest win to date, which was against Amanov last year, which is, I think it was over a year ago, in fact.
About 14 months ago.
14 months ago, yeah. So it's a long time out of the ring, and you're coming up against another tough opponent in Larry Gomez. I've looked at his record. He's only lost one and hasn't been stopped yet. So what do you know about Larry Gomez and going into this fight?
I know he's coming to win. I know he's strong-minded. You know, like I said, since he's coming to win, he's going to push through to the very, very end. He's one of those fighters that is going to say, you know, either knock me out or, you know, I'm coming to knock you out. So that it's always exciting to have fights like that, and I think that's why there's a match between us.
That being said, then, do you think you need to make a statement and knock Gomez out? Can you knock him out? Can you get the stoppage win?
We'll see if it's there. I'll go for it, but that's not what I'm going for. You know, a lot of people they always like to promise knockouts and everything. I like to. Well, what's the saying? Under promise, over deliver.
Yes, that's it. Yeah.
No, if it's there, I'll go for it for sure. You know, just like anyone. But I'm coming in there to be victorious and to win it in a good fashion.
Am I right in saying that this fight's in the wild card gym in Freddie Roach's gym in LA? Is that right?
That's right. Yeah. I actually saw the first series of the fight. It's actually it's like right behind his gym. There's like a little outdoor area there. So it's going to be outside.
Well, that's good then. I'm guessing LA weather's still sunny at this time of year.
It is. It's nice out here actually. It's about 70 degrees here today, so it's pretty good.
I mean, like you fought Golovkin's undercard a good few times, Madison Square Garden and all this sort of stuff. What's your general feeling about going into this fight, being at the back of the wild card gym as you described, with no fans? It's going to be hardly any atmosphere there. What's your thoughts on all that?
I mean, I always like having fans. Always, it's always better to have people there and everything. But I fought in that scenario before. I fought. So when I fought back in 2018, September of 2018, under the Triple G Canelo 2 undercard. I actually was like one of the first few fights. I think I was like the second fight on the card or something like that. And it was at like 2 p.m. And the only people there were the judges, you know?
Yeah.
So I think it's a pretty similar situation. And I still did all right for myself.
I did a wee bit of research on yourself. You have got a good amateur record. I believe you won the Golden Gloves out in New York. So it's kind of like an amateur fight, an amateur tournament in a sense where there's hardly any fans, but it's a tournament sort of setup, if that makes sense. Do you know what I mean? So you're used to that sort of no fans in the arena. It's just you and your opponent.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
So just talk about your amateur career as well while we're on it. I mean, you have you are a Golden Glove winner out in New York, I believe. Is that correct?
Yeah, I actually won 5 of them here, and then I went on to win the National Golden Gloves as well. Did the WSB back in 2015.
Mm-hmm.
I actually fought the silver medalist from Wales. The silver medalist at the Olympics from Wales.
That Evans, that would be
Freddie Evans.
Craig Evans. Freddie Evans. Freddie Evans. Sorry, yeah.
Freddie Evans. I actually fought him in my first WSB fight, and I won it pretty big too. So that was pretty big.
Well, that's no mean feat. Yeah. I mean, you are in a tough division, the 147-pound division. Now, I like to say, other than the heavyweights, the 147-pound division is the money division in terms of all the big names are in that division. Crawford, Spence, Thurman, Pacquiao. I mean, the list can go on and on and on with these guys. Floyd Mayweather, I don't know if he's retired or he's coming back. We don't know what's happened. We've seen Mike Tyson do it. So, I mean, you're in a tough division. How excited are you to be in the 147-pound division?
I always say it's the best weight class to be in. And I'm not planning to go anywhere until I make a statement in the weight class and until I create history in the weight class. There's a lot of names out there, and hopefully soon we start matching up with those guys to start fighting them, you know?
With the current climate, you never know what's going to happen. We've seen crazy things happen in boxing. Quick one that comes to mind is Andy Ruiz getting his shot at Anthony Joshua. Do you know what I mean? So boxing's one of them funny sports where nobody knows what's going to happen. So who knows what's going to happen in 12 months' time? But for yourself, when you look at the champions in 147, the Pacquiaos, the Crawfords, and the Spences and stuff like that, do you have like one in particular champion where you think, I would love to face him? His style and my style will gel. It'll be a good fight for the fans, and maybe he may be the easiest of the champions. Is there any champion out there that you prefer?
Honestly, I haven't like really looked at like the real champions that are out there as of now, just because when I get to that stage, they may not be there anymore. So why would I waste my time looking at those guys, right? But I'm looking at the guys that have been there, you know, like Sergey Lipinets, Sean Porter, Amir Khan, like all those guys. We can start soon fighting those guys, you know, because they've been at that stage. I think those are the kind of guys that we're hoping for soon enough.
You mean like sort of like the older champions, or maybe it's a gatekeeper into sort of like that world level opponent? So you mentioned the Amir Khans, and maybe even a Kell Brook. Who knows if he's not retired yet or something like that? Is that who you're hoping for within the next 6 to 12 months? Somebody at that sort of fringe world level gatekeeper sort of. Well, I don't know what you'd call. Would you call him a gatekeeper, Amir Khan, and these sort of guys? Is that who you want within the next 6 months?
Yeah, like those kind of guys. You know, they've been there. They've been at that level. Because there's also levels that you have to pass through, right? Like you can't expect a guy who just recently turned pro to start fighting, you know, an Amir Khan guy, for example, you know? So you have to take it step by step. You continue learning with every fight. And I think those are the guys that we're going to be ready for in that time frame.
I want to say you're signed with Tom Loeffler, who's I've met a number of times throughout the years. I mean, why Tom? Why did you decide to turn a promotional contract with Tom Loeffler?
So he works actually with a selective like group of people. Like he doesn't work with a massive group of people. Let's say like, I don't know, 50 guys and hoping that one of them makes it. He actually chooses each person that he works with. And I think more than anything that actually appealed to me. And he seemed like a really good guy. And he's still showing that he's a great guy. You know, he cares about people in general behind the athlete. So I think that's what I look for more than anything. And we work well together. We've been working well together, and we started climbing little by little. He started believing in me more so, and vice versa, you know, so it works well. We
I mean,
started to build that trust.
yeah, definitely. I 100% agree. You're managed by Split T as well, who manage Teofimo Lopez. Now, I've got to ask, with Golovkin in the same promotional stable and Teofimo Lopez, what he's just done to Lomachenko, what kind of inspiration do you get from these two world champions in Golovkin and Teofimo Lopez? I mean, you must look at these two guys and think, that's where I want to be in no time. Sure. What kind of inspiration do you?
No, it's great. You know, it's great that they're on that path and they achieved that. But at the end of the day, I'm my own person and I have my own path, and I look to achieve my own things if that makes sense.
Yes, definitely. I've got to kind of get your thoughts on it as well, since it's happening this weekend and you are in the division. Sean Spence against Danny Garcia. I mean, what's your thoughts on that fight?
I mean, I would think that Spence would win, but let's see how he came out of that accident. That'll determine that. But also, Spence has shown a little bit of lack of focus in his previous fights, even prior to the accident. So, I don't know. We'll see. It should be a good fight. Hopefully, he's healthy enough to take it, and hopefully he comes out healthy and everyone comes out healthy, and we'll see. But I'm pretty sure that Spence will win. But again, it all depends how he came out of that accident.
Definitely. And I'm gonna put you on the spot again, if you don't mind. Now, 147-pound division, like we've spoke about, is the best division, like you said in your own words. But are you still there, Ryan? You still there? Can you see me?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Yeah. Sorry, I'll cut that.
Yes.
Yeah, I was just saying there that you mentioned there that the 147-pound division is the best division in the world at the moment. But the amount of talent that we've got, the pool of talent in that division is unbelievable. Yourself is in there as well. So I've got to ask, the fight that we all want to see in boxing, everyone wants to see this fight. It's Crawford against Spence. You must have thought in your head about this fight as well, and you, as a fan as well, as a boxing fan, you must want to see this fight. Again, I want to get your sort of opinion and your thoughts on that fight itself. You must be hungry to see that fight like the rest of us.
I don't know. I'm kind of weird. Like, as a boxer, I don't really watch boxing like that. It's weird to me unless I'm looking for something, or I'm watching someone that I know, or if it's like a social gathering or something like that. I wouldn't really watch it. I think that if Spence was 100%, like I'm talking about prior to the accident, because again, I don't know how he came out of that. And he was 100% focused the way that he was prior to like his couple of his previous fights. I think Spence would have won for sure.
That's interesting. Well, Brian, since we're obviously a UK-based channel, the UK fans, we're always on the lookout for a new up-and-coming prospect to get behind. Why should they just tell the UK fans why they should tune in and look up the name Brian Ceballo? Again, I hope I said that right. Why they should tune in to see and watch you fight and follow your career? Why should we do that?
I think more than anything, I'm a well-rounded person. I love I love all the cultures. I actually love the UK. I actually do well every time that I've been over there, and have gotten along well with all the UK people. But more than anything, as a pure boxing perspective, I have a really good boxing IQ, and I fight a little bit different than most fighters do, just because I adapt to every single opponent. And we're going in there climbing up the ranks little by little, and we're we're not the kind of people that showboats, any of that. You know, we just go in there. We're likable people, and we just go in there and do what we have to do and win.
Well, we've got a couple of good 147 pounders in the UK, and Josh Kelly and Conor Ben. So who knows? We might see in the ring over in the UK.
I know they've been talking about Josh Kelly and myself in some interviews, but we'll see.
Oh, let's talk about that then. You've got me intrigued there. And what's been said? Is that a fight you would like with Josh Kelly, or do you think that's one of them fights that maybe there needs to be a title on the line before you two face each other?
I don't know. I haven't seen too much of him to be quite honest, but I know people have mentioned it, saying, oh, like Brian Ceballo and Josh Kelly would be a good fight. You know, I don't like, it's very controversial. Oh, Kelly would definitely win. Ceballo's not ready for him. Oh, Kelly is not ready for Ceballo. He has too much experience. He adapts too well, you know. So it's very controversial.
Well, it's definitely, again, for me as a journalist and a boxing fan, I'm always intrigued at matchups and stuff like that. Because I've seen a couple of your fights on YouTube before this interview and that. So I'm kind of like, yeah, I'm a fan. I think you've got me as a fan there. So definitely.
Thank you.
No problem at all. Well, Brian, listen, I'm like I say, I'm quarantining just now in a hotel room for a show we've got here in the UK, but I will be trying to find a way to watch your fight on Thursday night. So I won't keep you much longer, my friend. Good luck at the end of the week here. Hope you do well. Hope you win the fight, but stay safe, most importantly. And thanks for News 5 Phil TV, my man. Thank you.
Thank you. Likewise.
Anytime, brother. Thank you.
Is your debt causing you sleepless nights? Knock your debt out with Debt KO. And your debt won't be the only thing keeping you up at night. Debt KO, free, impartial advice on all your debt.